Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video we're going to take a look at the performance of the INT Hercule and basically how good he is in DBZ Dokkan. So realistically speaking, INT Hercule, I think out of all of the easy A's, probably the one that stayed the most the same. He was a very good tank before Easy A, he's now a very good tank after Easy A. In fact, even his ability to tank didn't, explode or accelerate too much. So definitely a good unit, but I think they could have done a little bit more. An INT type lead of 110% and greatly raising attack and defense for one turn on his normal attack with a high chance to stun. He also has a 50% chance to get a with TN attack, and this will cause boosted damage with a high chance to stun as well. He has attack and defense of 150% when performing a super attack. He has a high chance to evade the enemy's attack, including super attack, and if HP is 50% or more, he gets an additional chance of evading the enemy's attack plus 10%. He also reduces damage received by 50 to 90%, depending on how much HP is remaining, plus an additional attack and defense of 50%, and debuffing all enemies by minus 10% per Majin Buu Saga category ally, attacking in the same turn self-excluded. World Tournament Champion, Champion Strength, Hero, Soul vs Soul, World Tournament, Reborn, Supreme Power, Fierce Battle, World Tournament are his link set, and he's on World Tournament, Majin Buu Saga, Final Trump Card, Earthling Saviors, Bond of Friendship, Bond of Parent and Child, Earthbred Fighters, and Tournament Participants. In terms of hidden potential build, I went for a full evasion build. You won't usually see me go full evasion, but to be honest with you, it felt like it was okay in this scenario. Mainly because he doesn't do much else outside of, his raising attack and defense on his super attack and his dodge capabilities, so it's all really quite fine. In terms of numbers, we're looking at decent stuff. 180k, 160k, up to 200k depending on support. Damage, looking in the 4 millions, 5 millions. Hercule is a weird unit. He's kind of designed to be really tanky, but doesn't start out super tanky. He's moderately tanky with decent evasion, and then at lower health levels he becomes a supreme tank with decent evasion. The big thing is, with him as a unit, that I will say, he lacks what I would say is like a role or a distinct position to be in. He's not necessarily a good damage dealer. In fact, he's not a good damage dealer at all. He's not necessarily a unit that is an unconditional fantastic tank. So it definitely is a difficult situation because he's kind of lacking a distinct role or ability for him to really be kind of this super strong unit. And I think that's ultimately the issue I have, is that his performance is a little bit all over the place because of the fact that you can't really stick him in the first slot. His dodging is supposed to carry him through, but him in the first slot, especially if you're high on health, means he's not the world's best tank. At the same time, if you want to keep him on rotation in the second slot, you're losing out on a lot of damage, and even then, he has good defense. After firing a super, a lot of buffs will kick in and he'll be really strong, but like I said, you're losing out on damage, which is really bad. I think overall, realistically speaking, it's just not one of those situations where he's been improved a lot by his age. I think for me, in terms of the way he performs, I think his Easy A for me really should have just added in a support function. If they weren't going to make him a lot better, then adding in a support function ideally would have made him function better for the team. So if he's not going to personally function a lot better, then hey, at least he functions really well for the team, provides the team a lot of what it needs: key, attack, defense, etc. And in that way, he can have a good performance himself. I think he's a good unit. I think he's just missing a little bit of what his EZA really could have brought to the table, at least from my side. Of course, all things considered, I think Hercule is good. I think his performance isn't bad. I think he's a good floating tank, but the floating tank is probably the weirdest position or style of unit to have ultimately at the end of the day. With that being said, links don't matter too much, but you could prioritize his links if you want to, but none of his linking partners are really up to scratch, so it's a bit difficult. The most you could consider aiming for is Supreme Power and Fierce Battle, and I think that's really about where it lands up being. But yeah, that's basically it for me, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about Hercule at 100% in the hidden potential system, or at 55%, or if you've been using it with all. I think he's a good tank. I just think they could have done a little bit more for him to make him really kind of stand out and be a unit I'd look to using a bit more. Bye.